We have inflation. We have Jay Powell returning at the Fed.
Right.
How do you see that in terms of the outlook for the U.S. specifically in that market?
Well, along with other investors, I'm very concerned about this new inflation metric that has merged into the investment environment. We're watching a lot of politicians have been saying, well, this is temporary because of supply chain disruption. I know that's not the case. I have over 35 private companies in every sector of the U.S. economy in almost every geography there, and we are seeing real inflation. We're seeing gasoline prices that are up remarkably, the price of food and bacon, just the basics that our employees buy, those are up materially, and highest inflation in 31 years.
How concerned are you by the energy price dynamics specifically? Because that's obviously something we cover very, very closely out here. We talk to OPEC Plus all the time. I spoke with President Putin a couple of months ago. I've spoken with the Saudi energy minister, with the UAE energy minister as well. I asked him last week, would you take a call from Joe Biden on prices? And he said, no, we've been very clear. Now we're talking about them tapping into the strategic petroleum reserves. Does that concern you? That we aren't getting it right, at least on the state side?
It does concern me, and I think in hindsight, I mean, Biden's just in his mandate for the first 30% of his mandate, shutting down hydrocarbons, selecting against that industry, pulling leases from federal lands, probably not a good idea. I mean, the challenge is the conversion from hydrocarbons to clean energy, which we all want. Everybody agrees with that mandate, cannot be done overnight. And so, America fought hard for energy independence. It had it. It was there. Energy prices declined dramatically, which is good for all sectors of the economy. And then it was a hard stop on the brakes, completely a reversal in the tonality of federal government. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, we've got this image of tankers from unfriendly regions rolling into Boston to provide energy to the East Coast. That's broken. And as a result, you've seen the price of energy spike. That is not sitting well with the voting constituency right now.
That was exactly where I was going with it. When you talk about this as an investor, as a betting man, what kind of bet would you make ahead of the midterms, given the inflation, given the rise in prices that we've seen?
Remember, I look at it from I don't want to get into partisan politics, but I think the Democratic Party is going to have a really hard time in the midterms. You saw that indication in Virginia. You saw it in New Jersey. Hadley, people are pissed.
Yeah.
And they're pissed about inflation. I don't have a better word than saying that. They're unhappy. My employees are unhappy. They're going to vote with the cost of bread.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. And so
it's the economy stupid,
it's always the economy stupid. And so Biden's team, and look, he got elected with a very strong mandate to solve the problems around the pandemic, and he's done a fine job there. He really had a tough mess on his hands, and he's fixed it. And we're well into getting this under control, and everybody understands that. He was not given a mandate to spike inflation. He was not asked to be FDR. Nobody needs the big New Deal, and nobody wants, nobody. I'm just saying there's a political aspect here. Yeah. The last thing we need is an inflation bill. We don't need any more money in this economy. The economy's on fire. All that's going to happen if that bill occurs is all of us as investors are going to say, wait a minute, this is way too much stimulus. Yeah. This is a personal...
And it could be argued we're already there.
Yeah, we all are already there. And so I would tap on the brakes, wait and see early in next year where inflation ends up. But I'm speaking now as an investor, not as a politician. What I'm seeing is hyperinflation. That's what I'm worried about. And I know the administration must be worried about that, too. So my anticipation, I know the bill got passed in Congress, but the Senate's going to tear that thing to pieces if just stop it altogether. Yeah.